Hi there! In today's video, I'm going to show you how to create some eye-catching KPI cards inside Power Apps using a custom function. These cards will help you to display key metrics like sales, signups, and more in a stylish way that has even gradients. You can use these on your own apps and customize it however you like. And the best part is that I'm going to show you where you can get this code for free so you can have it inside your app. You just need to, of course, subscribe, like, and if you really want to help me do more videos like this, leave a comment. Let's jump right into it. First, let's see what we are going to create. These are HTML cards that display important information like total sales or monthly revenue with a custom gradient for the numbers. This helps you present data in a way that stands out and grabs attention. Now we are going to have a clear overview of the function that we will be using so you can easily follow along and implement on your own Power Apps projects. If I click in one of the cards, we can see what's happening here. This card is actually an HTML control, but we don't have an HTML text on it. Take a look. In the HTML text property, we have this function called GradientHtmlCards, where I pass the title, the text that will go in the number, and then the background color. These are the three parameters of this function, and it's super flexible. For example, let's see how we could customize this card here. Instead of monthly revenue, let's say it should be the annual revenue. So I'll just change here to annual. See, now the title just changed inside the card. Now let's say that's not euros, but it's dollars. So let me put the dollar sign here. See, the dollar sign just changed. Or I can change the numbers, let's say it's 85,000. And lastly, we can change the background color. We just need to change the color property here. In this case, I'm accessing the color object inside the app and putting dot white, but we have color dots and we have a lot of colors here. Let me see, for example, dark salmon. Then we see the color just changed. I could also pass hexadecimal code here. For example, just open and close quotes and put some hexadecimal codes. Let's see, AB, AB, AB. But since it's expecting a color argument here, it needs to be a color, then I can just convert to a color using color value. This is a function that has in Power Apps that converts hexadecimal to colors. See now that it has this background color, which I just put randomly, but we could use a color picker just to select the color we want. So let's go to a color picker and try to get any color here. I'll try to do this kind of green so I can copy the hex codes, Ctrl C, and then I'm going to paste here instead of this one. And we can see that it's got that color and put in the background. Just to start from scratch, for example, if I wanted to do a very new cards, I can go to Insert, search for HTML, insert the HTML text, and then I can call this function here. Hold on, because soon you are going to see how you can have this function inside your app, since it's not a function from PowerFX, it's a custom function. So in the HTML text, let's pass the function, that's GradientHtmlCards, and then we pass the parameters. Let's say cards title, and then the text that we want to display, 1, 2, 3, and then the color dot white, and then the card just appears. Okay, so you can just create as many cards as you want using this function. Now let's see how this function is implemented. How can I have this? How do I have this on my app since it doesn't exist? Right, if I go to the tree view and click in the app object, we have this property called formulas. And here is where I created this function that will return me the HTML based on the input parameters. So we have this function called GradientHtmlCards that has a title, a value, and a background color, and returns a text. With these three values, then I build the HTML, and return it once the user calls this function. I have created the code here. I still have two other parameters here. That's the gradient start and gradient end. And the beauty of this is that if I want to change all my cards throughout my app, since they are all using the same function, if I go to the code and change something here, it will already apply to all my cards. That's very nice and speeds up a lot if I have to do any change. For example, imagine I want to change the color gradient. I don't want this color. Let's say I want something reddish. Let's go and get a red color. Copy the copy the hexadecimal, and then back to the function definition in the formulas. I will put in the gradient end this color. Now all the cards end with this red color. It's still having an impact because of the first color. So for the first color, the gradient starts, I'm going to grab also something red, but a little bit darker, and put in there. Let's see. See, now it's a different gradient. And you could play with that. Let me just do a Ctrl Z to get my original colors. Right, now that you saw where you need to put this formula, I'm going to provide you the formula so you don't need to type everything. But if you type, it's fine. But it's easier to copy, right? First thing before we see that, if you don't see this formulas property from the app control, it's because you need to enable it. Right now it's experimental, it's not a production ready feature, but I hope that this stays because it's very useful. You need to go, in order to enable it, you need to go to settings, then you have updates and search formulas. It's in the experimental tab right now. Maybe in the future will be in the preview or in the new tab, but it's in the experimental. And then you just need to enable user-defined functions. Once it's enabled, then you will see the formulas property here. Okay, now how can you have this very same formula? There is this website called Power Apps Tool that we have several features for speeding up Power Apps development, and we have Power Apps Functions, this tab right here. If you search by GradientHtmlCards, it's right here. I can see already, but maybe in the future we have more controls, more components, so it is not showing the first page. Search for GradientHTML, and then here we have this function. You can just click on copy function. That will put in your transfer area, and then you can go to Power Apps, go to the formulas part, and paste in here. So I'm just going to paste before this formula for us to see that's the very same code that's being pasted. See, here's the code again. Then it's ready to be used. I'm going to delete because I already have. Okay. Then you can go and repeat the process I just did, insert an HTML card and calling the function. Going back to the tool, if you log in with your LinkedIn, then you can favorite this one. So once you come here in the future, you can find easily. And also you give me some points because we have a leaderboard for the most favorite ones. And if you have something that you want to submit, you can also submit here once you are logged in. You can contribute to the website. I hope you enjoyed the video and it was useful for you. Please leave a comment, that helps a lot my channel. And if you want to support even more, you can become a member. And with a small donation, you help me produce more content to the channel. I'm going to suggest another video that's also related to this KPI cards, but in a different approach, that you can insert the HTML directly into the HTML control without using the functions, in case you don't want to use this because it's still experimental. See you in there.